What's up, Rosterbaiters? It's playoff time, baby! Get ready! Alright, a few housekeeping things first before we get started. I'm back in my man cave in my studio. I'm back on the iPad. Actually, looking back at the 4K and everything, I think the color was better with just the iPad. Anyway, I'll probably use both devices going forward, but I am back on the iPad today. Got a few extra additions for my wall here, actually. I don't know if y'all are Spurs fans, but my son and I got to go see Joshua Primo, who was a first-round draft pick, and got his autograph the other night at the Austin Spurs game. I usually like to get all my autographs in person. They mean more to me. But every once in a while, I also got something for my UT wall. Vince Young signed jersey. That was not in person, and it absolutely was at a Dave & Buster's at a silent auction after about 16 Shiner beers. Didn't know that I had done that until I got the text message saying that I owe this company money. But it was for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, so it was all for a good cause. And I got this to go right next to Mr. McCoy over there as soon as I get that nice and framed. So, welcome back. All right. What happened in Week 13? So it didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. I was pretty damn wrong, actually. Even good for me, I was wrong about me losing to Voodoo Curse. So what I predicted was that Beantown Ace and PGB Could would be the 1 and 2 seed. Also, I said that You Are Dope, Voodoo Curse would be 3 and 4, B-Man and Dak Knight would be 5 and 6. I predicted that I would be the 6th seed, like I predicted many months ago, and I would also win the championship. How it actually turned out was much different. Beantown Ace and PGB Could pretty much had that locked in, the 1 and 2 seed. In the 3 seed, my Dak Knight Rises team pulled it out by like 5 points above You Are Dope, who's the 4 seed. So I did pull it out. And then Z-Man pulled up the upset, the much-needed upset, which we're going to talk about against Beantown Ace. And Zombie Jesus, our commissioner, broke his cousin's heart. Why would you do that to poor B-Man, your own flesh and blood, and stole the game from Big Freshness to solidify his team where he originally tried to tank as the last playoff spot? All right, we're going to get into this, but first I want to talk to you guys about my new YouTube channel. Go check it out. You can look at the previous videos. I'm going to be using that to upload all the future videos. The space on my Google Drive was just becoming too much. I didn't want to delete the videos, still wanted to keep them, so I figured that was the most efficient way to do that. Also, I'm going to have the ability pretty soon to record these videos live, which means you guys will be able to chime in. I'll let y'all know the date and time I'm going to do them, and we can actually interact through chat and stuff when you are watching me live recording these videos. Then also that recording will be up for all to see as well. So, okay. First, let's talk about my game with Voodoo Curse. My team did a lot better than I thought, to be honest. I've been kind of on a downhill trajectory, but it bounced back. It hit mid-season form when I was winning all those weeks. I made the right quarterback call in starting Taysom Hill and Joe Burrow, sitting Derek Carr. I still got nothing from Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, though. Tyreek Hill, my second-round pick overall, behind Joe Burrow, still not doing much for me. We'll see. I think he's a championship winner, though. I think he's going to help me out in the championship. I traded him away to a buddy of mine in my other league that I run, and he's actually doing real well. I told him Tyreek Hill is going to be your path to win a championship. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers and running backs came through. Godwin and Gronk, and then Montgomery and Madison all did really cool things. They overperformed. Madison did about what I expected, but Montgomery finally did what I need him to do when I traded for him mid-season. As far as Voodoo's team goes, Lamar Jackson just didn't have the game that I thought he would, and because of that, it hurt Mark Andrews. And so he was sacked 7 times and had 2 turnovers, which really hurts quarterbacks in this league because our quarterbacks only get 4 points for passing touchdowns. That's cool. I mean, we had drafted to account for that. But when you lose a point for every sack that you get, and then an interception is -2, it's really hard to come back from that with only 4 points for passing touchdowns. And I'm not really griping about it. It is the way it is, but might want to rethink that and maybe bring it up for discussion. Some suggestions would be to make it 6 points per passing touchdowns, but even if you don't want to do that, reduce the interception penalty to 1 point. Or take the sack penalty away completely, or reduce that to half a point or something like that. There's something to think about. It's really hard to dig your quarterback out of those holes like Jackson just showed you when he's getting sacked. Even though he's mobile, his O-line just doesn't perform. But maybe that's just part of the game that we want to play, and that's okay too. But with Kamara out, Voodoo was kind of facing an uphill battle anyway, it turns out, and he just didn't have enough firepower. The other game, Z-Man did a number on our number 1 seed, effectively securing his spot in the playoffs. George Kittle and Justin Jefferson. That's it. Those are the 2 players that did it for him. If Kittle continues to do that, ain't nobody going to catch you. I don't think it's going to happen. But very well done. Z-Man did exactly what he needed to do to beat Beantown Ace, something that I couldn't do 2 weeks ago, that I really wanted to secure my place in the playoffs 2 weeks ago instead of this week. But that did happen. The game that everyone had eyes on did not work out in B-Man's favor because his cousin knocked him out by narrowly defeating Big Freshness by 5.85 points. When it came down to it, that was the difference in B-Man's season. And it came down to the weather, unfortunately. Diggs needed 13.2 points on that windy, snowy Monday night and only put up 7.1. I think if it was not for the weather, you probably would have been fine, man. You'd probably be in the playoffs right now. Both teams had mediocre weeks, and both would have actually lost to most teams in the week. Even Beef Shower, talking about Big Freshness and Integrity Farms. Okay, so that's really the main elements from week 13. Before I start talking about what's going to happen next week, let's just take a look at how the season turned out. I'm going to start off with talking about how I projected the season to end. Back when I did that review, before we had rookies, but after that initial big draft. I didn't really rank the teams, but I gave everyone a grade, and so I attributed those grades to rankings. Basically, I said Big Freshness was going to be the number 1 rank. Obviously, that was really, really wrong. He ended up being the number 9 ranked team, and we all know about luck factor and everything like that. That's some of the reason why that is. I said Z-Man, actually, with a grade of A-, was going to be the number 2 ranked team. Not too bad off. He came out number 5. Beantown Ace, I said, was going to be the number 3 ranked team. Obviously, he's number 1. I didn't technically give my team a grade, but I did have a ranking for them. I put them at 4 back then. I didn't really share that because I let Gerald give my team like a C- or something and let him review my team. But I did have my team at 4 in the league, and I came out at 3, so pretty close there. I had B-Man at 5. Where he easily could have been. He was 5.85 points away from being 5. And obviously we know where that came out. He came out number 7. I had You Are Dope as the 6th ranked team. He came out number 4. Integrity, I had you the 7th ranked team with a B- grade. You came out the number 6 seed, so pretty close there. Voodoo Curse, I nailed it. I had you at a grade of C+ as the 8th best team, and you were the 8th position at the end of the season. Big Freshness, obviously we said that. Really screw up there. Jay Ever, I had you in the 9th ranked team, and you came out 10. And then PGB Could, I had you as the 10th worst ranked team coming out of that draft with a D-, and obviously we know how wrong I was there. As you came out as the 2nd best team in the league, and deservedly so. So when it comes down to it, I did all crazy calculation. I came out with an average variance of 2.6. So I was about 2.6 spots off back when I reviewed all of the teams back in July per team. If I had just switched Big Fresh and PGB, I would have only had a variance of 1. But I didn't, and totally threw my variance off 2.6, which is just mediocre. So keep that in mind next time I review everybody and give them rankings. That really doesn't mean shit. So the other thing that happened is we got the official draft order based on max points for. And that draft order is going to be as follows. The number 1 overall pick, as it should be, will be Beef Shower. Then here's your consolation prize, Brandon. B-Man is the number 2 overall pick. So that's pretty good. Number 3 is Zombie Jesus. Number 4 is me. Number 5, Z-Man. 6, You Are Dope. 7, Voodoo Curse. 8, Big Freshness. Ouch. 9, PGB Could. And 10, Beantown Ace, where they deserve to be. Obviously there were trades in there. Not everybody owns their own pick. I didn't go into that much detail because it's hard to see where everyone's picks are when the trade function's turned off in the sleeper app. But I didn't try that hard. Obviously we know I have Gerald's pick, so I'm actually picking 3 and 4 in the first round. I have PGB Cood's second round pick, and so I'm picking him there. Anyway, okay, moving on to the playoffs, baby. It's time. This is what fantasy's all about. It's playoff season. It's so much more stressful and so much more intense and fun. But before that, I'm going to take a pause and go get another beer. All right, fresh beer, ready to talk about the playoffs. I'm drinking Yingling today, by the way. This has come down here to Texas. I kind of can't stop drinking it. Probably going to get a keg for it. Usually don't get a keg in December's because I go no carbs every January, and so I don't want to waste a keg if I don't drink it all in December, so probably be my February keg. Anyways, all right, so what's going on in the playoffs? First, we have 2 matchups going because Beantown Ace and PGB rightfully so got their first round buys. Congratulations to you guys. You can sit back, have a beer, and watch all the rest of us just stress out. First one between Dark Knight Rises and Integrity Farms. So what I did is I broke this down to see what would happen if we played each other every single week this year. Guess what? We would have gone 7-6. I would have won 7 times, and G would have won 6 times. Talk about points. I scored 1813, and G scored 1705. So on average, I scored 7.48 points more than him per week. However, there's one big factor this week, and we talked about this in the middle of the season on how we were going to handle having the first round of playoffs in Week 14, with Week 14 having buys. And we put it to a vote, and I kind of said voting's probably not fair because teams like me who don't have any players on bye, obviously I'm going to vote to keep it the way it is, but there are teams that have, like you, who have like Jonathan Taylor, the number 1 player in fantasy right now on a bye. Anyway, we decided to keep it the way it is, and it came to fruition. I'm playing Gerald without his top player, without the top player. So, if you take Jonathan Taylor out of the situation and you sub in a player who, let's just say, scores 10 points. Let's just say that were to happen all season. Integrity loses 14 points per week on average just by that fact alone. So if he didn't have Jonathan Taylor all season and just had a running back who scored 10 points every week, he would lose by an average of 21.5 points per week. And most of his big weeks that he had came when A.J. Dillon was the only show in town. Well, guess what? Aaron Jones is back. So, the other thing to keep in mind is my team was king of the week 5 times out of 13. That means 38% of the time, nobody can beat my team. There were only 2 teams that came close to meeting that metric, and that was Voodoo Curse, who did it twice, and Beantown, who did it twice. Z-Man, B-Man, Big Fresh, and PGB all did it once. I did it 5 times. My team has the biggest chance to boom on any given week by far, but also my team is not as consistent as PGB or Beantown, which is why my record is not up there. I'm only the 3 seed, not the 1 or 2. Because when I don't win the week, however, I lose most of the time. So I either have to score the most points to win, or if I don't, I usually lose. Take that for what it's worth. I thought that was kind of an interesting fact. I'm not going to be cute. I think I'm going to wipe the table with Integrity Farms this week. I'm projected to win like 80% to 20% or something like that, which that doesn't mean anything. That means absolutely nothing. I know that. But I just don't see Integrity having what it takes to beat me without Jonathan Taylor. Even with Jonathan Taylor, it'd probably be close, but I just don't see it happening. I'm 100% projecting me to beat Integrity and move on to the next round. All right, let's talk about You Are Dope and Z-Man. In my opinion, it's going to be a lot closer matchup. So what happened if they were to play each other every week, all season? Well, You Are Dope would win 6 times, and Z-Man would win 7. Is that close again? But they played each other twice this season, and both times Z-Man came on top. I forgot to mention previously, I have played Integrity before. He did beat me. We all know that story. I talked a bunch of shit, and he said that my team was going to fall, and it did, and he beat me. But Z-Man has beaten You Are Dope twice this season. All right, talking about points. You Are Dope scored 1808, and Z-Man scored 1776. Much closer than Gerald and I. Sorry, I had my 3 boys come in. Y'all met the dogs before, but I don't think y'all met Parker yet. This is boy number 1. Say hi.
Hi.
Boy number 2. Come here, cowboy. Say hi. And boy number 3. The biggest one of all of them. Say hi. You got those crazy eyes going on. All right, Ranger. Okay, guys. Okay, sorry for that intermission. That's what happens when I record these videos earlier when my kids are awake. But at least my wife and daughter are not home yet. I'm supposed to be cooking dinner right now. I'll figure it out. Okay, so they were a lot closer midseason than Gerald and I. You Are Dope only averages 2.46 points more than Z-Man on a given week. This upcoming week, You Are Dope has no one on bye and has a pretty solid lineup. He's going to be needing Waller to be healthy, though, and for him to play well, I think. That could be the deciding factor in this game. Right now, Waller is day-to-day. I am interested if he decides to play Julio Jones or not, who, if he is indeed activated from IR this week, could be a difference maker, but does he have the balls to slot him in his lineup? I don't even know what I would do there. Could be an interesting decision. Z-Man's team looks stacked. No one of significance is on bye, and his only weak play is his quarterback 2. I think it's Teddy Bridgewater. With, he's got weak winning players like DK Metcalf. We talked about Kittle. Obviously his quarterback Allen and Justin Jefferson. Even Antonio Gibson right now is just running crazy, especially if J.D. McKissick is out. I foresee him beating You Are Dope. If Waller doesn't play, for sure. If Waller does play, could be a coin flip. That's going to be, I think, a much better matchup to watch this week than the Commissioners and mine. All right, for the other matchups going on, remember, you still need to play. And you still need to win because you're trying to get eliminated. All right? I'm talking to you, B-Man. I know it's going to sting, but you got to go set your lineup, man. You don't want to be the Toilet Bowl champion. You got to go set your lineup. Same thing with you, Voodoo. Yours was not as close. You kind of saw the writing on the wall probably at the end of the first round of Sunday games. You're a little bit more ready for the disappointment. Big Fresh and Beef Shower, you've known for a while, I think. So you four, don't forget to play and make sure you're not the Toilet Bowl champion. The goal is to get eliminated. The winners get eliminated, but the losers of this week's game will move on to a 2-week Toilet Bowl final. The loser after week 16 will be the Toilet Bowl champion and will be forever remembered as the one who lost the inaugural season of Rosterbaiters. You do not want to be that guy. I have no prediction because I don't even want to put anybody, I don't want to put that juju out there. All right, guys. That's it for today. Hopefully I can get my live account set up and we can get going for a live video maybe next time. But until then, cheers. Hell of a regular season. I'm super stoked about the future of this league. Good job, Gerald, putting together a hell of a league. For years, it's just been my league that I commissioned that I'm so excited about every year. Now this one's right up there with it. Good luck to all the playoff teams. May the best man win. And next week is going to be, we're throwing Beantown Ace and PGB Could back into the mix. They're going to be upsets. Who knows? This has been Lil'Shane, a.k.a. Dak Knight Rises, a.k.a. Shane Littleton. And until next time, guys, I'm out. Oh. Sorry, I guess I forgot to turn it off. By the way, I'm wearing an 88 today, not because of CeeDee Lamb, to remember Des Bryant, because it's the playoffs, and he fucking caught it.